Hi everybody, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. If you've never been here before, never watched any of my videos, have no idea what I do, I cover true crime cases, and all the cases that I cover are a little bit older. So if that's something that you might be interested in, maybe go down below, click that subscribe button, and also make sure to turn on the post notifications to be notified every time that I upload. I recently covered the disappearance of the Millbrook twins, Danette and Jeanette Millbrook. And if you recall from that video, the person who I originally spoke to that helped me start researching into it was Klein, who runs the page Missing Black People on Facebook. He does incredible advocacy work highlighting cases of people of color that need more attention brought to them. He recently reached out to me and brought up today's case, another twin case, except in this one twin went missing, leaving the other one behind, longing for answers for 40 years now. Klein did an interview with the victim's sister that I will link down below in the description of this video, but he brought up to me the fact that he made a post on Facebook and it was gaining a lot of traction. So many people, even people that grew up in the area that this occurred in, had never heard of this case before and were completely shocked when it comes to the details surrounding it. With all of that being said, let's get right into it. This is the unsolved disappearance of Angela Darcel Cephas. Although almost every source online claims that Angela was born in 1964, she was actually born on December 12th of 1963. At the time of Angela's disappearance, she was 20 years old, and she has often been described by loved ones as being happy but quiet. Angela was from Port Norris, New Jersey, a small unincorporated community located in Cumberland County. It's a calm rural community located near the mouth of the Maurice River, and it is known for its rich history in the oyster industry. It's an area not familiar with much crime. Statistically, it is safer than 55% of all other cities in New Jersey. Like I stated before, Angela is a twin. Her twin sister is Angelina. In mid-1984, Angela was living with her other sister, Betty, and Betty's 4 children on Dragston Road. Angela, throughout her entire life, had never lived outside of the neighborhood she was living in when she went missing. Now, it is stated that Angela had talked frequently about wanting to run away before, but her family does not believe she left on her own accord. And I am sure that my viewers will agree when they hear of the circumstances surrounding her disappearance. At this time in 1984, Angela was roughly a little more than 6 months pregnant with what was going to be her firstborn child. She was excited to be a mother, scared but excited like most mothers. She was expecting a baby girl in early August. It was really the unhealthy relationship with the suspected father of her child that caused much exasperation for her during her pregnancy. She had been having an on-again, off-again relationship with a man named Gregory Hickman, a 34-year-old man who lived about a quarter-mile away. It is said that he had been sneaking around on his actual girlfriend at the time with Angela. I do have to mention that he would go on to marry this woman not long after Angela vanished. Now we get to the day of her disappearance. On Friday, May 4th of 1984, coincidentally, Angela and Angelina's other sister, Frances's birthday, Angela left her home at around 11 a.m., telling Betty that she was going to meet up with Gregory. Angela left the home on her niece's bike, a pink and white 20-inch Huffy Girls model with a white banana seat, the image of flowers on the frame, and the initials KC on the neck near the handlebars. This is the last time any of Angela's loved ones saw her again. What happened to her that day after leaving the family home is a mystery, but the more that you look into the case, the more it seems like one person in particular may have had the answers. It seems like Angela left the home that day with the intention of only being gone a short time because she left the home without her purse, watch that she always wore, and cigarettes. Angela was an avid smoker. She was pregnant, but we have to remember this was 1984, and it wasn't really until the mid-80s when the knowledge of the harmful effects of smoking during a pregnancy became more known and widely discussed. The point is that at the time, if she knew she was going to be gone for a little while, she would have brought these cigarettes. So she left without any of her personal belongings, and that is the first clue that Angela was planning that this was going to be a brief visit with Gregory. When hours had passed and she still had not arrived back home, Betty knew that something was wrong, and she phoned Angelina to inform her that Angela was missing. They phoned the police and were told to wait 48 hours, waited that time, and would end up filing a missing persons report for Angela. During that time waiting, though, they did conduct their own searches. Detective Tom Blong and Detective Kenneth Scherer were the ones put on the case from there. Angela says that it took them about 8 hours from the time that the family called again for police to start actually doing anything for the case. Authorities informed the family that they could file a missing persons report for her after 48 hours, but for them to actually help in the search with the family for Angela, they had to wait 72 hours. The initial search for Angela by her family was primarily done on foot and was covering wooded areas around where she went missing. This included the backwoods area near the abandoned railroad tracks where Angela and Gregory often met. Family did locate some bike tracks and tire tracks around this area that Angela and Gregory frequented. The independent searches done by her family occurred on the Saturday and Sunday following her disappearance. Angela had a large family. She had a lot of people that loved her. The Sunday search included 5 truckloads of people. According to the Daily Journal, released on May 9th, 5 days after she went missing, police termed her disappearance suspicious. The Daily Journal reported on May 10th that 50 firefighters and rescue squad workers gathered that morning to comb the thick woods outside Port Norris. They also reported that the previous day, 2 helicopter searches were conducted of the area where she went missing. Still, they couldn't locate any clues as to what happened to Angela. Angela's cousin, Brenda Jarman, stated, "Saturday was pretty bad. She never stays away. Looking for her in the woods, it's like you want to find her, but you don't," referring to the possibility of stumbling upon her lifeless remains somewhere in the forest. Like I stated, when her family did their searching, they found the bike and tire tracks near the railroad where Angela and Gregory would frequently meet up. But when authorities did their search days later, they did not find these bike or tire tracks, and it's believed that they had been washed away due to recent rain. Gregory was initially questioned by members of Angela's family. Gregory stated that he did meet with Angela that day. They talked, and the last time he saw her, she was pedaling up North Avenue towards Haleyville. Now, is this actually what happened? Angela's family does not believe this. As Angela's aunt, Geneva Brown, would tell Press of Atlantic City, he didn't want her to have this baby. It is obvious Gregory was not wanting to speak with reporters around this time of her disappearance. He knew that they were going to be asking a lot of questions regarding his possible involvement. When reporters visited him at his mother's home on May 9th, a middle-aged woman believed to be his mother answered the door and told them that it was merely hearsay that Gregory was the last person to see Angela. Reporters could only see the woman at the door, but they could hear Gregory in the background in the home. Of course, we cannot say for certain he was the one responsible, but we can go over some of the facts and information brought forward by family members of hers. Angelina has said that she didn't really know a lot about Gregory, but she did know that he served in Vietnam and he struggled with a lot of mental health issues as a result. She said that one thing that concerned her about Gregory was that he liked to frequent the cemetery and play with a Ouija board. He would hold these Ouija board sessions and Angela was invited to most of them. She even said that not long before Angela went missing, they had one of these sessions in a local cemetery. None of Angela's loved ones really approved of this relationship that she had with Gregory. They knew that it was a very toxic relationship. It was very concerning to them, and they all knew that this man was never going to step up and be a father to her baby girl. Angela's parents had both passed away by the time that she went missing, but her sisters, Betty, Angelina, and Frances, all stated that the father of Angela's baby was in fact Gregory. They did not believe that there was a chance that another man could be the father. They just wanted to know what happened to Angela, and if he knew anything more, they were begging him to tell them what happened. Gregory, on the other hand, he was insistent he was not the father. He rarely ever spoke to reporters, but told Press of Atlantic City in September of 1998, they were just neighbors down the street. We were just families that grew up down the street from each other. That's all I can tell you about it. Port Norris authorities did try to question Gregory, but when they went to his mother's home, he told them he wasn't answering any questions and told them that he had a lawyer. He lawyered up, and this lawyer made sure that he never had to answer a single question revolving around Angela's disappearance and what happened that day. Some people took this as him possibly being guilty of something, while others agreed that this was the best choice. Roger J. Willard, author of the book Missing Persons USA: How to Hunt Down and Find Anyone Anywhere, released in 1994, stated, "I don't blame him for not talking. You could end up being targeted by the police. police can sometimes put blinders on. Roger told Press of Atlantic City that he was more so leaning towards her still being alive somewhere. Her family was not so sure of that. They hoped for the best, but they feared that she had died at the hands of someone else not long after she went missing. In August of 1984, Betty was quoted saying, "The police don't know nothing. We don't know nothing. We haven't given up, but myself, I don't think she's living." Angela's family has spent years just waiting for answers. Even by 1998, 14 years after Angela went missing, Frances had never even changed her phone number because she was hoping that Angela would call one day. Even by August of 1984, people in Port Norris weren't talking about this case as much as they were in the first month. Yes, newspaper articles would get released and police would follow leads, but it never got them any closer to finding out what happened to Angela. And the main person suspected of having some sort of involvement just moved on in life as if she never existed. He went on to marry his girlfriend, create a family of his own, move away, and Angela and her unborn baby were missing, and her family was grieving for years. By August of 1984, Detective Blong told the Daily Journal that they had been investigating her disappearance since day one and were running out of leads. He stated that due to Angela confessing before that she had a desire to run away, possibly she did, and when she would have the baby, maybe she'll be back. That never happened though. Authorities had checked local hospitals and maternity wards to see if anyone fitting Angela's description had delivered a baby, but again, were met with no positive results. In the minds of Angela's loved ones, this case never closed. Frances stated that she would have dreams about Angela. In one, Angela had phoned her and told her to pick her up in Millville, and when Frances got there, Angela was there holding a beautiful baby girl. Frances told Press of Atlantic in the same article from 1998 that she remembers the day Angela went missing, but she also remembers the day before. On May 3rd of 1984, Angela paid Frances a visit at her home, and Frances said that Angela looked like she needed to talk to her. She could tell that something was on her mind, but she wasn't really saying much. Frances said that sometime later, there was a knock at the door. It was Gregory. Frances said that Angela went outside to talk with him, and when she came back inside, she was completely silent, and it seemed like she was very deep in thought. What they spoke about is unknown. It didn't seem like Angela really wanted to talk about it, and Frances wasn't going to push the topic and keep bugging her about it. She just wanted to see if Angela would discuss it on her own. Angelina spoke of a specific incident on Klein's podcast that may leave you speechless. Angelina stated that she spent the weekend before with Angela. That while they were sleeping, Gregory made his way into the trailer that night. That he came into the room, got on top of Angela, on top of her pregnant belly, and told her that if she went to the welfare office to get government financial help for her baby, and stated that he was the father, that he was going to cut the baby out of her, chew it up, and spit it at her. She said that after he made this threat, he left. This incident terrified Angelina so much that she got up and phoned her husband to come and pick her up immediately. From this incident alone, can you blame Angelina or the rest of her family for believing that this man may have had something to do with Angela's disappearance? So where is this case currently? Well, Gregory Hickman passed away years ago, and if he did know more, if he was responsible, he never made that known to authorities or her family. Angelina and many of Angela's other family members continue to ask the question though, could Gregory's widow and stepdaughter know something as well? If they do, neither of them have come forward with that information either. Angelina knows that there have been so many advancements in technology since the 1980s, and she's hoping some of these advancements can possibly help with her sister's case. She is hoping to get her DNA into a genetic database soon to see if there are any Jane Does in the system that could be Angela. Angelina is truly hoping that now focusing on a possible genetic connection could solve this. We'll just have to wait and see. Angela Darcel Cephas is biracial and has many freckles. She has black hair and brown eyes. She was very petite. She was only between 4 feet 3 inches tall and 4 feet 5 inches tall and weighed approximately 135 pounds. She was last seen riding a pink and white Huffy bike, wearing a brown sweater, a white t-shirt, gray maternity pants, and blue sneakers. If she were alive today, she would be 60 years old. If you have any information regarding her disappearance, you are urged to contact the New Jersey State Police at 856-785-0036. Angela, her unborn baby, nor the bike she was riding that day have ever been located. Many modes of transportation, human remains, and weapons have all been disposed of in bodies of water. We do have to take into consideration that she vanished near countless bodies of water and about 2 miles from the bay. The time that it would take to search all of these areas, it could take years. Is it absolutely impossible that Angela met up with Gregory, left, and then something happened to her on her way home? No, it is not impossible, but her loved ones just find it extremely suspicious that this man did not want this baby, threatened her days before, was allegedly the last person to have seen her, and never once wanted to help in the investigation. If there is someone out there who knows something, it is time to come forward with that information. Thank you all for taking a little bit of time out of your day to learn about Angela's case. It is one that I know 99% of you have never heard of. I could not find one post online covering this case in depth except Klein's interview with her sister. The fact that a mother and her unborn baby have been completely missing for 4 decades and a family has been devastated ever since and has no answers at all. There have been no updates in the case, and there have been no solid suspects, except everyone's eyes have been on one person who refused to talk. I hope with more eyes on this case, more attention brought to it, that the current investigators can really start re-looking into it and going over it again to see if they can find anything else. Of course, also moving in the direction of genetics. I want to thank Klein again for bringing this case to my attention. Definitely go give him a follow. He has an incredible page and he does such amazing work. He really cares about the cases that he covers. My heart also goes out to Angela's loved ones, and I just hope that within time, hopefully very soon, there can be some new developments in her case. If there are any other cases that you possibly want me to cover here on my channel, make sure to send those requests over to gabulosiscaserequests@gmail.com. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. Stay safe like always, and I hope to see you in the next one.